Streaming from Oklahoma's own digital studio, this is TU Football Update, brought to you by Brahms. Here's Jeremy Poplin.
Well, what a wild night that it was on Friday night in Stillwater for the University of Tulsa as they knock off the Oklahoma State Cowboys in what could be the marquee game of the Tre Lamb era, the game to propel the football program into the area that the coaching staff, that the administration has all talked about over the course of the summer heading into the season. Is this the win that can finally do it? Maybe so, but they've got a difficult road ahead. Does the University of Tulsa with Tulane coming in this weekend? But let's recap what was a phenomenal night on Friday night in Stillwater. Terrific fan support coming down to help cheer on the Golden Hurricane, and I don't know if you could script a better performance top to bottom, outside of a few issues here and there, mainly scoring inside the 30-yard line. More on that from Tre Lamb coming up here in a bit. But if you were going to talk about the things that you need to do to win a game on the road against a Power 4 opponent, Tulsa virtually did every single last one of those. An all three phases type of game that now has Tulsa thinking, maybe, just maybe, bowl game's not out of the question in year number one for Tre Lamb. First of all, before we start, thank you so much to Brahms for helping sponsor all of our great content on Oklahoma's own sports YouTube channel. Yes, just launched. Go and like and subscribe right now. You'll see all of our different channels, whether that be for the University of Tulsa, for Oklahoma State, or even for the Oklahoma Sooners, all right there in a nice, neat little one-stop shop for all of your sports needs. Again, Oklahoma's own sports on YouTube, brought to you by Griffin Media, and of course our great sponsor, Brahms. Well, coming up on the program here in just a few moments, we'll hear from the athletic director, Justin Moore, on what type of a win and impact that this can have for the university as a whole, not just for the football team. Amy Slanchek in the News on 6 caught up with Justin earlier today in his office to get a little recap from the weekend and just the meaning on national television in front of everyone, full on display. Tulsa had the night to themselves, and Tre Lamb, I thought, cut a great wrestling-esque promo after the game was over there with the sideline reporter. More on that in just a bit. You'll hear from the head football coach, Tre Lamb, here in a bit as well. Can Tulsa play better? Tre Lamb's he thinks so. He thinks that they can play a lot better, and in some cases was a little disappointed and knows that they're going to have to play better, especially this weekend and moving forward in the American Athletic Conference. Or the American. I keep forgetting they're dropping the American Athletic Conference. Just the American. And finally, we'll wrap up with some of the players. Ray Coney, linebacker who's leading the country in tackles, and also Seth Morgan, who was the American Special Teams Player of the Week. All right, so earlier today, the News on 6, the news department caught up with Justin Moore on this win on Friday night. I've said this a lot. Justin Moore is an absolute rock star with what he's doing within this athletic department. In a little over a year, how the tables have completely been turned with where they're at financially compared to where they were just a little over a year ago. Fundraising is up. The efforts and the energy within the entire department are at a level that I'm having a hard time remembering right now, and it's all because of his leadership. So here's the athletic director from the University of Tulsa, Justin Moore, from earlier today.
Yeah, super excited. Still trying to get through all the text messages and calls, and I think just the excitement just from community, our alumni, former players, the university as a whole. I think it just was a sign of what Tulsa can be, and particularly in our world, what athletics can do for the visibility of the university. And so still excited, but as we know in our world in athletics, we have a game this week, and so we celebrate it, but then it's time to get ready for the next competition.
For sure. Tell me about the energy in the stadium. I mean, on their turf, what was this like?
Yeah, it was fun. They had a great environment, sellout crowd. We did have a good group of Tulsa supporters there up in the corner where they put us, but I enjoy always going to a rowdy environment and playing well and quieting the crowd, and we were able to do that pretty early. And so, but it's always fun for our student athletes to get a chance to play in front of a full crowd. And so I think they had a great experience. And of course, anytime you win in that environment and getting to celebrate with your fans that came after the game, that's one of the most fun things we get to do.
We looked it up in the newsroom. The last time you guys won, everybody knows 1951, but it was President Truman was in office. When you think about it in that perspective, what goes through your mind?
Yeah, it's a long time ago, I think it shows how special this group is and what they were able to accomplish. It's been a long time since that's been the case, and so I think it's hard in our business because every week is a game and you kind of start over. But I've tried to sit back and at least enjoy it for a little bit and really think about the magnitude of it and what we're able to accomplish. But yeah, that's a long time ago. So we are in the process of trying to build the program to where there's not that much time in between big victories, and this becomes more of the norm.
What does a win like this do for your average student experience? I mean, for a student who maybe isn't that invested in sports, and all of a sudden this huge win happens.
Yeah, I think it's great for everybody on campus. One, as a student, it gives you something to be proud of. It gives you something to talk to your friends about and remember your time when you were at Tulsa. Hopefully it gives them an idea to go to the game and experience all the fun things that come with supporting athletics. But I think these types of wins are good for everyone, not just athletics, but for the overall campus. And again, the visibility that comes with that and the sense of pride of what your institution was able to do. And so hopefully we're able to do that for a lot of our students and our fans.
Yeah, when you say visibility, you're talking about ESPN.
Yeah, for sure.
Being on ESPN, what does that do for the university?
Yeah, I think it's hard to even put a price on the free marketing that you get, and we talk about this a lot. Athletics is the front porch of the university, and so a lot of times it's the way for people to learn about the university that don't know much about it all across the country and sometimes the world. And so our job is to put out a great product that makes people proud to be part of the University of Tulsa, and then again give them a gateway to learn about all the great things that we're doing here on campus. And so when you're on main ESPN, and I think you can see what the viewership numbers look like and the hundreds of thousands and millions of people that reaches. Again, it's really hard to put a price on that type of marketing for the university.
Awesome. Any thoughts going into Tulane next weekend?
Excited. We hope to have a great crowd. We'd love for you all to come out and support and watch the team. Tulane's a great team. It'll be a really tough game for us, and our conference is really strong this year. But I think, again, we showed what we're capable of, and we're just going to try to use that momentum to carry us through the rest of the year.
Tulsa's in good hands with Justin Moore as the athletic director. All right, let's take a time out. When we come back on the opposite side of this break, you will hear from Tre Lamb, what he liked, what he didn't like about Friday night's victory over Oklahoma State, and a little preview of Tulane. But first, a word from our sponsor, Brahms.
Satisfy your sweet tooth with a Brahms old-fashioned banana split. Crafted with a delicious banana, split down the middle and filled with not one, but 3 scoops of Brahms premium ice cream flavors. To complete this masterpiece, all your favorite toppings are poured on each scoop to bring it all together in a perfect harmony of flavor. Treat yourself to an old-fashioned banana split at Brahms, where every spoonful leaves you wanting more.
From the press conference earlier today, Tre Lamb mentions one thing that I agree with. Well, a lot of things that I agree with. Tulsa should have beaten Oklahoma State by at least 14. They dominated in every single phase. The only thing that was lacking was finding a way to get the ball in the end zone. They kicked field goals. Special teams was tremendous. Number of touchbacks on the night. The defense, time and time again, came up with big play after big play, whether it be turning Oklahoma State away on a 2-point conversion with an interception, multiple stops on 4th down, a big 3rd and 15, also in the 4th quarter as well, that really set the tone for Tulsa the entire night. The interior was dominant at times. They continue to find ways to get to the quarterback from a pass rush perspective, and I thought the secondary played probably their best game of the entire season, and we haven't even mentioned what Tulsa was able to do offensively on the ground with Dominique Richardson. So, without any further elements of me talking because you're probably sick and tired of that. I know that I am. Here's the head football coach from Tulsa, Tre Lamb.
Really good win for us Friday. Super pleased with our effort. Did not think we played our best. I think we have to play better. I think our goal right now is just to keep getting better each week. Played good enough to win the game. I was really proud of our third down and fourth down conversions on both sides of the ball. We stopped them, got off the field. We didn't have to punt in the first half. I thought we dominated the lines of scrimmage. I think the biggest thing it did for our team was tells us we can win on the road, we can win against good opponents, and we can win close games. And we need those three things because we're going to be in a lot of close games. And it was a great night. You know, everybody's told us how good we've been or we are for the last 24 hours. 48 hours. It was great to be able to watch football on Saturday and get a head start on Tulane. I was able to watch that game. But we brought our kids in yesterday, and I told them I don't want to hear about it anymore. We're on to Tulane. We're on to getting better. I showed them in a very fierce and heated team meeting that we got to play better. And we made a lot of mistakes in that game that are going to bite us if we continue to make them. And my challenge to our team and our players and our coaches is let's not make the same mistakes last week this week, and let's clean stuff up. And if you're going to make a mistake, make a new one. We got to be better at scoring the ball in a high red zone. We talked about it for 3 weeks. It started with New Mexico State. We get the ball across the 50, and we're not scoring touchdowns. We're settling for field goals. Seth had a great night as a field goal kicker, and I thought, our punter was really good in the second half. Won the game running the football in the second half. Probably could have been more aggressive, but our defense was stoning them pretty good. So really didn't want to put our freshman quarterback in a position to lose the game. In hindsight, probably should have opened it up a little more in the fourth quarter. But we had the lead, had a 2-score lead. We were going to ask them to go, they were going to have to go touchdown, 2-point conversion, touchdown, 2-point conversion in the fourth quarter, and I felt good about our defense. So ran the ball. Dom had 31 carries. Really proud of him. Honestly, you watch the game, we should have won by 14. We got to capitalize when we get in the red zone. We got to capitalize on other opponents' mistakes. Thing I was proud of is it wasn't a fluke. They didn't have 3 turnovers. They had 0 turnovers. They really didn't make many mistakes. We just beat them. Straight up beat them. And that's what I'm most proud of. Tulane's got a great football team. They're the best team we've played. They're complete. You look at teams and you think a lot of people have weaknesses. They don't have any. Quarterback's a terrific player, transfer from BYU they got late in the summer. O-line's really good. Receivers are fast. Running back's good. Their defense is really good. They got good D-line. And Mike linebacker's terrific. Sam Backer can cover the nickel. He's a really good player. The corner has several interceptions. They've already beat Northwestern and Duke. They got it rolling down there. And Coach Summerall is one of the best coaches in the country, and I'll be glad when he's not coaching in our league. But Coach Fritz did a great job getting that program turned around, and Coach Summerall's made them even better. So we got our hands full and excited for the week. Questions?
You had talked in your post-game radio show about wanting to check the phone. So how did that go after the game?
Yeah, I had 540 text messages, so it took me a long time. The whole bus ride home, I was responding to those. The cool thing is we play our next 4 games on national TV. We just played Oklahoma State on ESPN. We got ESPNU this week. ESPNU against Memphis, and then ESPN again, East Carolina. So our program is in an exposure window right now that we need to capitalize on. It's a great opportunity in front of a national audience to prove to the world that Tulsa, what our brand looks like, what our brand of football looks like, how hard we play. And I'm excited to watch our guys do it. They're fired up.
How do you transition from the celebration of Friday night to preparing for Tulane?
Yeah, it's over. We had our day. It's a good thing about playing on Thursday or Friday. When you win, you get some more time to enjoy it. We enjoyed it. Yesterday we came in and hammered down. We cannot have a hangover from winning that game and think we've accomplished anything. Like I said, we didn't even play that good. We got to play better. We got to play better. And if we play like that, we're going to get beat the next 2 weeks. So we need to step up and score touchdowns. We need to stop the run. We need to do some things better. To be honest with you, I was not satisfied with how we played.
Beyond the enjoyment factor of the extra day, is there anything strategic about having one more day since you gave it up on the back in last week, does it help at all? Does it help at all that they had a very difficult game they played? Do you think about things at all like that?
Yeah, I think it helps for a day of rest. And then we had a real practice last night. We practiced in helmets and spiders and cleats. Normally we do a Sunday night walkthrough because we're just kind of getting the lactic acid out of our system, and we had a real practice last night. So we gained a day on Tulane. We were able to game plan Saturday a little bit, and then Sunday afternoon team meeting, put the game to bed, and then we started on Tulane last night. So, yeah, we certainly gained a day, and you gain a day of rest. Like, that's a big deal.
At what point when you got here did you decide that Tulsa's team was going to be the slogan that you sort of wrapped things around?
Yeah, it's just, as I kind of got my feet wet here in the city and how big of a deal it could be if we got really good, and the support we could get from the city. Like, I know our alumni base is not huge, so it's very important for us to embrace the city of Tulsa. And, there's not an NFL team here. There's not, it's the Chiefs or the Cowboys. It's Oklahoma State or Oklahoma. I want people to take pride in the football being played in the 918. And I think it's important in recruiting. It's important in fundraising. We are the only show in town, and we have to embrace that. And you're either exposed, you have great exposure, or you get exposed. And that's a challenge for our team. And I think having Tulsa's team as a logo, recruiting local, embracing the 918, the more players we can get from this area, the better we're going to be.
How has that message resonated outside the program when you and your coaches go places?
I think it's been great. We haven't been recruiting this year because we hadn't had an off week yet. But, when we have an off week in 2 weeks, we'll be able to get on the road and see what the response is like. I think Friday night was big, just to be honest with you. I don't think many people were paying attention. They're like, oh, okay. Yeah, they kind of know what they're doing, and they got a chance to be pretty good. And it was kind of one of those moments in your coaching career or in a season or a program builder that you need one of those. Like, you need something good to happen. You need to win a game you're not supposed to win against an in-state rival. And kind of, the historical piece of it was interesting to me, like not having won there since 1951 and haven't beat Oklahoma State since 1998, and they've played 77 times. Like, that's where it resonates, I think, with more of the alumni and donors. I got a lot of texts like, hey, my granddad was on the 1951 team. I'm so happy you beat those guys. We get bragging rights for a year. There's just a lot of that kind of stuff that is sentimental. I don't want our players to think about it, but as the head coach, you have to think about it.
What went into the decision not to dress Kirk Francis, and what is his status going forward? Yeah,
he did not look great in practice last week, and pulled him in my office Thursday. I said, are you 100%? He said, no, not 100%. I said, okay, well, I'm not putting you at risk. And he really wanted to play. He was in tears, because Oklahoma State's important to him. It's in-state. They didn't recruit him, and he kind of wanted to play against him. I said, your heart's telling you one thing, your head's telling you the other. We got to make a smart decision here because we got 8 games left after this one, and then you got 2 more years to play against Oklahoma State. Like, you're going to get to play them again. So we'll see. He practiced last night, looked good. So we'll see where we go with the quarterback position. I haven't made my mind up yet. It's going to be hard not to play the freshman as good as he's playing right now, just to be honest. But Kirk's our captain. He's played well against Tulane in the past. The good thing is there's a lot of people in the country that don't have good quarterbacks. I mean, I watch college football. It's an epidemic. The points are down across the country. I don't think quarterback play is very good across the country, and we got 2 guys I believe in. And so we'll see which one we go with.
What's your process when you self-evaluate as a play caller? Can you walk us through what a little bit is like that for you after games?
Yeah, I mean, first thing you look at is rushes and completions. How many rush attempts do we have and how many completions do we have? If that number's above 50, you got a good chance to win the game. Explosive plays, am I creating enough explosive plays? Is Coach Robbins creating enough explosive plays? And then situational football is huge. How are we on third down? I thought one thing we did a really good job of is tempoing into third downs because their pass rushers were good, and we were not going to allow them to sub and get fresh people on the field like everybody else has done for them. And we were going to do them a favor by letting them do that. So we tempoed into third and medium, tempoed into third and short, tempoed into third and long so that they couldn't get fresh people on the field and get their best pass rushers and their nickel stuff. We had the reverse to Jacob Emmers, which was a big play on the counter reverse. I thought was a good play call and good scheme. But you're looking at, situational football, rushes and completions. I really value completions as a play caller. Incompletions kill you because you're 2nd and 10 and the clock stopped. But if you're completing passes and you're rushing the football, our chunk plays are going to come. I truly believe that. We're averaging 420 yards a game and 24 first downs. Both of those are plenty good enough to win. But the point total right now is 20 per game. That's not good enough. It needs to be 28, 30. So we're missing that 10 points. Again, that last game was a lot of 4-minute backed up in the fourth quarter, so I was going to run the ball and play good defense and punt. So could I have been aggressive? Yes. But there's a lot of stuff as the head coach when you got to see that. When I was just a play caller, you're just trying to score. When you're the head coach, you're trying to protect the defense, the punter, the punt team, the quarterback, the O-line. Like there's a lot of thoughts that go in your head is, okay, how do I manage this game? How do I manage the clock? When do we use tempo? There's just a lot that goes into it. But self-evaluating, I look at completions and rushes. That needs to be a high number.
Your completion percentage is around 63%, so a good solid number. Is there any other advanced number that you look at? Do you look at the yards per play, the points per play? How in depth do you
points
go?
Per drive is big. How many times you're getting the ball and how many points you're scoring. Last week we only had the ball 9 times, where New Mexico State, Abilene, and Navy we had it 11. So we had less possessions, but points per possession is a big number. Points per red zone entry is a big number because defense, it's a win for them if they force a field goal, right? So we count that as a win for our defense. So points per possession, points per red zone entry are big numbers for us. Explosive plays, we had 12, which is a big number. Oklahoma State had 4. So we won the explosive play battle. We won the middle 8, which we got crushed in the week before. We scored right out of the half. We scripted our second half for the first time, which is, I have a 20-play script to start the game, and then we went with a 20-play script to start the second half. And, Brad did a good job with that at halftime and before the game, and he had us in the right spots. So, I think just learning to work with a new staff, a new quarterback, a new team, and we're trying a lot of new stuff. I mean, we're going to do a walkthrough on Friday instead of a run-through, so our players are fresher. We're just trying to tweak everything. When you're new and you're trying to figure it all out, you're trying anything you can to play your best. And I thought we played a complete game last week. We got to play better, but a complete game.
All right, we'll wrap up with our 2 players. That's Ray Coney, linebacker, and Seth Morgan, who had 4 field goals the other night against the Cowboys. Here's those 2 players on what that win means and how it can be a springboard for the rest of the season.
What was the celebration like Friday night?
I mean, the celebration, it was probably what you'll think would be me not really knowing the history between the 2 schools and everybody that came from OSU. It was just fun just to see them all happy, and it was just a good experience being that a Power 5 opponent. So it was just a good experience overall.
Definitely, I'd say it's kind of exactly what Ray said, exactly what you'd expect. Went into a Big 12 opponent, and a lot of guys have ties of some sort, and to go in and beat them is just awesome.
So what has the come down been like, and how do you go from the high of Friday night to preparing for Tulane on this coming Saturday?
We just take it one step at a time. Celebrated the win Friday, Saturday, chilled out. Sunday, it's time to get back ready for Tulane. Trying to be 1-0 every week, and we're gonna go 1-0 this week.
Ray, how do you compare the first 4 games of this season to the first 4 games of last season for you? And how does kind of the things that Coach Lamb is doing this year, how do they compare to what he did last year at East Tennessee State?
I mean, Coach Lamb is real consistent, so he been the same guy since the first day I met him. So it's real similar to how he run the things here to how he ran things at ETSU, and we just need that one game to get guys to believe. Like last year was that North Dakota State game. Even though we lost, it was like we came from basically like nobody. So like we should have won that game versus the #1 ranked FCS team. And then like beating them, even though we know it wasn't like a real good OSU team, still beating them is that confidence we need to make a push for this season.
Seth, you got in the portal after the coaching change, then came back. What went into your decision to come back?
Yes, sir. So I had conversations with Coach Lamb and Coach Barfield both, and just the energy they bring and the culture and just everything that comes along with everything that they believe in. I mean, it's exactly what I look for, and I loved everything about them and wanted to stay and play for those guys.
What do you feel like has been the key to your success so far this year?
Honestly, just knowing that my team believes in me, the coaches believe in me. I have a great O-line, a great holder, great snapper, and just being comfortable to go out there and just make the kicks.
Ray, how good can this defense be?
Man, I feel like we could be real good. Like, we got not even just because, like, the starters, just the people that's not playing. Like, it's like the people that we could trust to come in, make a play. All right, we can sub bodies. We got people that really believe, like, every time we go on the field, we're going to get a stop. And I feel like that's the biggest part of trying to be a good defense. Like, every time you step on the field, we got to get a stop. And that's our mentality going into it.
And you kind of played a conference game, jumped back out, and now you're jumping back in. Is there a different mentality about jumping back into conference play after you dipped your toes in a little bit?
Nah, we just got a mindset. We just trying to go 1-0. So either it's out of conference or if it's a conference game, we're trying to go 1-0. So.
Ray, when you're playing linebacker and you see the starters in front of you, the defensive line, but then they sub out and you got Hardiman and Jaden and Ball and other people coming in, I mean, how confident are you that they don't lose you don't lose anything on the front line in front of you when they sub out?
I mean, very confident. That just comes from just being around them, like building relationships with the D-line, and just, everybody trusting one another. Like, I'm trusting them to do this and do that, cut the ball off, and that just comes from being in practice, being able to make the mistakes in practice, and just learn how to get better from that. And when the game comes, we get to execute.
At the same time, you look like you want to play every play, right? I mean, you don't want to be subbed out. Is that kind of the approach you take? You look like you want to play every play.
Yeah, I want to play every down, like. But I ain't gonna lie, I was getting tired last game, though. I ain't gonna count, but that's just making me, you feel me? It's just like, I just got to go harder, like, keep my conditioning up, But like I said, we got good people, like, that's going to come in if I need a little breather, like, top of my head. We're not missing the beat, so that helped with that, too.
Coach talked about how he discussed with the quarterback, you ain't done nothing yet. It's time to get better. You haven't done anything yet. What's the defensive side of that? Is it Coach Reardon? Is it Coach Gray that kind of says something on a Sunday that, you ain't done nothing yet? I mean, what is that like for you guys on defense?
It's really like, I mean, I feel like we need to use that as motivation. Like, we haven't done anything. In my eyes, we still in week 4. Like, we still got, 8 more games left? So, I mean, I feel like we got a long way to feel like we actually did something. Like, we don't really want to recap and talk about, oh, yeah, we did this until, like, January after the season. Like, we focus on the next week, the next game, the next practice, the next play. Like, that's what we focus on.
And finally, Seth, they always talk about, you have to focus on what you got to do, which is swing that leg. But there's operation, all of the operation that goes into special teams. How grateful are you that seems to be going well, and what's important about that?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like I said, the O-line's been killing it this year. They've been great. Aiden Fedigan transferred in from UCF, and he's been a great snapper. And Angus Davies, gets it right every time for the hold, and it just, it makes it easy, really, just to go out there and trust that at the end of the day, the operation's going to get it done, and we can just make the kick.
I've got to ask you, how long have you been growing the mustache? I just have to.
Yeah, so that happened during fall camp, the special teams room. We do something every fall camp, and they were throwing around shaving our heads or bleaching the hair. And some guys already had some facial hair, and so, I can't shave the hair. So I thought, maybe we can go with a mustache. So.
Can you walk me through what your approach is like every kicker, I've listened to Brandon Aubrey talk about kicking a lot and what his mental approach is. What goes through your mind? Is it hyper focused on your mechanics at that time? Is it just taking a deep breath and relaxing? What kind of goes in through your process?
Yeah, so I think it's really just focusing on being as uncomfortable as you can throughout the week. That way when it comes to game day, you know, it's just take a deep breath, relax, and understand that, you know, I've done this 1,000 times just this week, really. And so by that time, it's just go out on the field and just, you know, make the kick.
What are those details that you focus on?
Yeah, so I mean,
mainly mechanics.
Yeah, so like I said, I've been doing this for a while now, and so it's really just focusing on, okay, you know, is my angle right with my steps, and then just picking a good point to aim at, and at that point, it kind of just takes care of itself. Just be smooth, relax, and that's it.
All right, Tulane coming up Saturday at 3 o'clock, and the following week on the road at Memphis. That kickoff time has been set for 7 o'clock inside of the Liberty Bowl on ESPNU. What will the next 2 weeks look like? It could be very, very interesting. Two of the better teams in the American. Tulsa has an opportunity to really make some noise here in year one under Tre Lamb, to go on top of that victory over Oklahoma State. Thank you to Brahms for helping sponsor all of our great content, and we'll see you next time. Like and subscribe. Oklahoma's Own Sports on YouTube, and we'll see you with a midweek pod for the University of Tulsa here, courtesy of Griffin Media.
Thank you for watching this Oklahoma's Own digital studio stream. Stay with News on 6 online and on television anytime for the latest news, weather, and sports.